see you again. How's it going?
Not too bad, my
Omari,
friend.
you
Good?
good? Yeah, good. Well, look, Paul, about to head into your suite, but we're here for a big reason, celebrating 75 years of Windrush. Paul, in a few words, what does that generation mean to black Brits in this country?
For me, it was family tradition. Understanding where our parents, how difficult it was and how they came over from the Caribbean for a better life. So it's where it is and how I've been born here and how I stayed. So.
Now, Omari, obviously wearing the blue shirt, Stamford Bridge is where you want to be playing week in, week out. This guy's a big part of the history here. Yeah. When you think about players who paved the way like him, what kind of emotions, what do you feel being one of the new black players coming through at Chelsea?
I think players like Paul, you just got to respect them, honour them, because without them being brave enough to step on the pitch and take that step, probably wouldn't be in the position where we are today. So I think just having a respect for them, for us to play on this pitch with all the fans is an honour.
My parents, dad and mum, and explaining how it was, why did you leave the Caribbean to come over, obviously, and it was, as I said before, to better life. But it was a difficult life, don't get me wrong. For them to find work, for them to find a roof, for the likes of my sister and I, it was definitely something that you'll never forget. The experience itself, not being wanted just because of the colour of your skin was a difficult thing. So yeah, I will never forget.
Certainly for me, my first kind of introduction to my Caribbean heritage was either going to get curry goat once a week or twice a week and the barber. Omari, was it a similar thing for you discovering that side of your Caribbean heritage?
Yeah, literally the same, because I remember when I was like 8, growing up to like 13, my dad used to take me to his barber shop and I'm there for like 4 hours, 5 hours.
Just chatting football,
just chatting off.
Yeah.
Now they get tired, but it's good vibes. Also just eating Caribbean food, listening to the music, stuff like that.
And when you're looking at players you aspired to be like, wanted to watch, what kind of players were you watching when you were growing up?
And players that represented us would be like Pauls, Ian Wrights, Thierry Henry's, players like that.
And when you look at that first generation from Clyde Best all the way down to, so early on to be doing what he was doing, how much do you think that generation of first generation Windrush children and people have paved the way for the Premier League and the football that we see today?
You know what, because like you just mentioned Clyde Best, and imagine what he went through coming in before me, watching him, and I was getting stick just by watching him, you know what I mean? So that for me was a confident booster, but it was difficult because obviously our parents wanted us as kids to get an education and didn't understand the signs of sports for us individual black people, kids. But for me, that encouraged me a lot. Obviously when I first saw Clyde Best playing football, and that was it for me. I knew from there I wanted to be a professional footballer, even from the age of 5, but seeing him, that was it for me.
And Omari, coming into your career, coming into some really important years, when you look back at people like Paul and that generation, how do you feel knowing that you're the next role model for young black boys and girls in this country, when you've had people like Paul and other black players from a Windrush generation, Windrush heritage to look up to?
Yeah, as I said outside, I think just respecting them and showing them honour, because, as I said, without them, we might not be where we are today. So my job is just to elevate that and just help the younger generation growing up as well.